Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. on 5thDimensionRadio.com, and you know what that means. It's time for another 10-cent beer night here on 5th Dimension Radio, the official sports show of the station here out of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Our first one of February 5th, filming here on February 3rd. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
And going into last night, I went into the mindset, we're going to start off with some great things to talk about because Zips are continuing to be perfect in the MAC. The Cavs had another perfect week, and it was partially thanks to a crazy trade that happened the night before their last game of the week. But before we get to that, there was some breaking news before we sat down and started shooting here today, and it's kind of, when I say breaking, I mean my heart is breaking as we're talking. And it's Myles Garrett, star defensive end of the Cleveland Browns, has just requested a trade away from the Cleveland Browns to pursue his dream of winning a Super Bowl, revealing he never wanted to be a Hall of Fame. Well, I won't say never.
Yeah, he said, I never wanted to go to Canton. I just wanted a Super Bowl. That's
right.
exactly what he said.
Which he'll go in Canton anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, that's...
If he stays like this, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and he's up for his second Defensive Player of the Year, which would be awkward if he wins. Here's my thoughts on the whole thing. This is a guy who was very invested in Cleveland. He was emotionally invested. His rookie year, they won no games, and he had the best attitude. He said, look, I know like nobody likes to see something like this, but we're going to get him next year. He said we're going to keep working hard, and we are going to win games next year. And they won a decent amount the next year, but he could have said, man, I see why they don't win any game. He could have put the franchise down from day one. He didn't. He was very upbeat, and he always has been. He's part owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers now. The guys really love this town. And for him to write a letter publicly and stress his urgency to get out is telling me something has gone very wrong in the Cleveland Browns organization. And all I have to say about it is, if I were to talk to one person right now regarding the situation, I would talk to owner Jimmy Haslam. I said, I hope you're happy. I hope that Deshaun Watson trade was worth it.
I really believe the biggest downfall the Browns had was when that trade happened.
It was.
Yeah, that's when they went downhill. I'm sorry. Yeah, they when Flacco went in there and they did okay with it, but that was a downfall.
Right.
And I think it really peed off a lot of the players when they brought that guy in. I really believe that.
I don't think at first, but then when he settled in, they realized he did not care, and that his heart wasn't invested into it like the other players.
He didn't care because he never even when he was hurt, never was on the sideline.
No.
Never even came down and cheer the boys on or nothing like that.
And we know more about his vacation now during his rehab and how he's not wearing his boot and just not doing the things you have to do to take care of yourself. He clearly does not care. And no, I'm just serious. I hope he's happy by that. Because look, I'm not going to sit here. I was very pro Baker Mayfield. I still am. But you don't need to make moves like that and to somebody, by the way, who doesn't want to be here. That's why I'm okay. Look, this hurts right now. But if Myles does not want to be here, you trade him.
Well, you
don't keep anybody.
If you don't want to be in a city, get out. Let him go.
Yeah.
Because it just brings more people down.
Right. Absolutely.
But I don't want to see him go. Personally, I don't want to see him go. But
this is a generational player.
There is something, like you said, in the background that's going on that we don't know about yet. We will eventually. Eventually, it's going to come out.
Right. But I do think that's where it started, was the Watson trade. Because Denzel Ward, I brought it up, I think it was last week. Denzel Ward had made the comment, the cornerback for the Browns. You got to get the quarterback figured out. He said that's the first thing. He said when you get the quarterback figured out, everything else falls into place. He was just talking about football teams in general, not just the Browns. It was a football comment. And they had a guy, the broadcasters ripped on him all this past season for they had a guy, they chased him away, and he's now in Tampa Bay. And they went out and got another guy who just missed a whole season of football, mind you, wasn't injury related, and all the controversy that surrounded that, and then thought he was going to be the man. Mind you, while his stats looked good, the guy had only one winning season, only went to the playoffs once. And he was an MVP candidate, and his team was 4-12 at the time. I mean, what does that all tell you? And then now look at where we're at. Now, for people at home, like, oh, Miles, I mean, he is going to enter his 9th season, da-da-da. I hate the old debate because everybody assumes every NFL player is the same. This guy's not your normal defensive end. This is your dream defensive end. If a scout could list what would make the best defensive end of all time, he would have the majority, if not all, those attributes. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. On top of that, he's probably going to have at least 4 really good years left in him. Okay, I know he's getting beat up. I know he's probably going to have surgery on his foot again. The Pro Bowl just ended this past week. He was involved in all that. But that's the thing is, I don't care how long he's played. He's not your stereotypical defensive end. And he's going to continue playing hard until it's time to hang it up. And the numbers are going to show it, too.
Yep.
And here's why this is bad today. It's not just like, oh, we're losing a player. We're losing a captain. This is going to be a domino effect for some... They're about to go back to the factory of sadness. Because if he wants gone... Nick Chubb said, I can't imagine playing anywhere but Cleveland. He's a free agent. He could change his mind, too. I didn't think we'd ever see this letter today by Myles Garrett. I never thought it'd be a possibility. Now we've seen it. Okay, so Nick Chubb could be rethinking things. All right, Joe Bitonio might retire because of something. By the way, congrats to him. We shot our show before it was announced. He had just participated in his 7th straight Pro Bowl, that's a Hall of Fame player right there too. But yeah, because he had to replace somebody from the Chiefs, so that's how. And I said last week that might happen. It did happen. He might retire. Elijah Moore's a free agent. He loves Myles Garrett. He might not come back. And
the domino effect's going to happen.
Right.
I'm telling you.
And you're going to have to bank.
I mean, we don't got much to fall anyway, but I mean, the team is junk.
It's in a rough spot, which it's weird because, Bob, on paper, even take Myles out of the scenario, which I would hate to see, but you're going to have to see it. There's still a lot of talent on this team. And they could obviously, a first-round pick would be involved in a Myles Garrett deal.
Oh, there's definitely maybe a couple.
I would love that.
Maybe we'll get back some of the ones we gave away when we got Watson.
Right. I'm not sure. They might have to trade some mid-round picks with it to get a second first-round pick. At least one will be involved.
I mean, that was the biggest mistake. That's where the downfall was Watson deal. The Watson deal was when this franchise, it was going up. It was going up little by little, but it was going up. Watson came in, and now it started back down. It went back downhill.
Right, and now we're here again. Because you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, Myles was a huge part of that environment. Okay, the environment was not perfect. It only kind of produced 2 playoff appearances and 1 playoff win, but it was getting there. It was getting somewhere. Okay. With him gone and out of the equation, it's not about just the guys we're not going to get back. We're going to go back to being the unsexiest free agent destination in the NFL. I mean, it's all about what you have is what makes you attractive. And if we're blowing it up again, which, by the way, good teams don't blow it up. You got your Jaguars, your Raiders, and all them. They blow it up, and we're on the verge about to blow it up. I mean, it's about to be bad. So you think free agency was going to be fun? You have another thing coming. We're just going to be overlooked. Good teams build by the draft. Barry's going to have to hit on all these picks because I could see if they have another bad year again next year, which is looking realistic at this point. Stefanski and Barry will be gone, and then we're back down to square one.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised Stefanski's still with us.
I'm not.
I am.
Because it wasn't 100% his fault. He did the best with what he could. And at the end of the day, as we know now, they made certain decisions based on Deshaun Watson, and when it was made clear that was not the best way to go, he made some adjustments, especially coaching wise, in this offseason, adding a couple of different assistant coaches there. But no, this is bad. I cannot stress how bad this is.
Yeah, I heard that coming in today, and I'm this can't be happening.
No, and I would wish Miles the best of luck. The issue, too, is if we want to talk, this isn't like the NBA or MLB where you could see, you look at a team like, if I join them, I have a good chance of winning that ring. In the NFL, it's a whole different scenario, especially while you have refs catering to another team. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And it's really tough to know year in and year out, who's going to be the team that's going to be healthy and competitive to make it all the way to the end and raise the Lombardi Trophy. Because if I'm the Browns, the Browns are going to take the best deal they're going to, but I could see them kind of screwing him. And let me give you an example. They could trade him to someplace like the Miami Dolphins. All right, Miami on paper is a competitive team still, but they're also falling apart inside. Now, he has no say in his contract where he gets traded.
Right.
So they could say, okay, Miami offered us 2 first-round picks for you. We're sending you down there. And he could be sitting there the next 2 years in the exact same position, just a crummier feel. And that's the risk with all this ring hopping.
Well, no, in the Cleveland organization, they'll probably trade him to Baltimore or Pittsburgh or something.
They won't go that stupid. No.
Yeah, they're that stupid.
No, I don't think so. I do think Buffalo's a possibility. I think Detroit's a possibility. They brought that up. CBS threw out Raiders, Bengals. See, there's one of them right there. And Patriots.
Do not take them within our division. Please do not take them.
No, I don't think they would. No, I don't think, because if they do, that's suicide. It's just football suicide at the end of the day.
This is the best player
that we've had since they've come back. Yeah. I mean, since the '99 comeback there. But Raiders and Patriots, that's not even a Super Bowl competitor right there, and their names are being brought up. I don't quite understand, but. I mean, the offseason hasn't started yet. It will not start until after the game this Sunday. For the Browns, I know technically their offseason started, but I mean the NFL offseason does not start till a week from today, pretty much.
Well,
it's but this is bad. I cannot stress. I mean, put it this way. As I had mentioned to you before, at this time last year, some season ticket holders were calling in, not sure about renewing. They said, well, let us know because we have a waiting list, and if you decide not to renew, it might be a while before you get a chance again. I want to know where that waiting list is now. Because there's no waiting list. There can't be a waiting list. And if there's a waiting list, they're all turning it down when they call them.
I believe they'd still sell out. I really believe that. Browns fans are diehard fans. We've been through some hard times over the years, man. Big, hard time.
Right.
We've seen some 0-16 seasons.
We won. We saw one. We went 1 and 31 in back-to-back seasons.
With Jackson.
Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson was a head coach. We've seen some, and they still packed the stadium. Browns fans are diehard. They're probably the best fans in all of football.
Yeah, we have a problem is what it is.
We got a problem now.
As fan base, we have a problem there. But
if we would sit that back and just say, hell with it, we're not going to the game Sunday, and that seat place is empty, maybe the Browns will start thinking. But, as long as we go into those games and sellouts every games, we're making money.
I really don't care for. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I really don't care for the stadium debate right now. But if I was Mayor Bibbs, who is trying to keep them in Cleveland,
they belong in Cleveland.
Well, here's what let me finish.
I know you're for that Brook Park.
Let me finish. If I was in his position, you want to tell Haslam, why are we having this talk when you won't even have a competitive team to sell tickets to? Why would you invest so much money when you don't have... I would throw that in his face. because that's what needs to be talked about right now. Like, I don't care about where they're at, because I don't mind the Brook Park, to clarify his statement. I don't mind it. But what I do mind is having a bad team until then. Because I'm convinced by the way we're going. If I were to give a bold prediction right now, okay, if you want to hear a hot take of way before the Super Bowl happens and finished, the Browns will have, they will trade Miles. They will have 2 first-round picks in this draft. Neither of them will be a quarterback.
Well, I don't think I see him going for a veteran quarterback.
Right. But here's the reason why. I think they're going to say, well, if everybody wants to leave, we'll just have another rough season, and we'll do whatever we can to get Arch Manning here in Cleveland. And then Haslam's going to try to sell the Manning name in Cleveland hardcore, and that's going to be his next play.
I can see that too.
You know,
but I really believe the Browns are going to go after a veteran quarterback, maybe for a 1-year deal or something, and then get a quarterback late down the line.
A fourth, fifth round. Yeah. I mean, we'll know more closer. I do see a different quarterback room because I don't think it'll just be a veteran. I can see them signing a Justin Fields or something like, hey, we're going to bring you in, but we're not going to promise you starting right away. But we do have a system where we think you can thrive.
I like to see Fields in Cleveland.
I wouldn't mind it. He was doing solid in Pittsburgh, and this is a different system now, and he's got the skill set that fits the offensive system. So that's something I wouldn't mind. And then Ohio State Browns fans would love it too.
Well, I know we're going to be getting the Pittsburgh's kicker.
The kicker?
Yeah. You haven't seen that news?
No.
Their kicker was brought up on charges. A woman.
Oh, you're to Baltimore's kicker.
Baltimore's kicker. I'm sorry.
You ruined the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin Tucker got caught with the same thing as Watson.
Same thing as Watson. Massage ladies.
Right. No, Baltimore's kicker.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was Baltimore.
He might retire anyway. He's not been himself the past couple of seasons.
Massages are really giving you a loosen up, you know.
Right. I did not plan on doing a whole segment on the Browns today, but this breaking news, we had no choice.
We had no choice.
I mean, this is
Miles. I wish you luck. I wish you'd stay in Cleveland, but I have a funny feeling you're going.
You know things we don't know. Like that's what Bob. I mean, he loved it here. There was no. So,
well, I met him up when they put the artificial turf at Ellett.
Yeah.
He was there for the Browns.
The Browns actually had involvement on that for
and they put that artificial turf in, and he was there and talked to people. I got my picture taken with him, and
you showed me.
Really nice guy. I mean, really nice guy, and and
it hurts, but I get it. Clear, and I want a Super Bowl in Cleveland too. And if he's telling me they're not even close to being that conversation, there's something else.
There's something going on.
Yeah. So
because we do got talent. We do got some. Like you said, we do have some talent, Seth. But
yeah, this isn't like the 15-16 season. The 16. The 2016-2017 seasons, like where we looked at Joe Thomas was the only good name on the roster. That's when you blow it up, and that's why they had to blow it up at the time. But no, on this team, you look up and down both special teams, offense, and defense. There is some quality talent any team would take, but it's just about getting the right guys to go along with that and move forward. Unfortunately, it sounds like Miles will not be joining us there.
Yeah, okay.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we will be talking basketball. A lot of good basketball happened on the NBA and college level. Plus, NBA saw one of its biggest trades in years over the weekend. Stay tuned. All right. Welcome back to 10 Cent Beer Night here at FifthDimensionRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
Let's talk about something nice, Bob, for once, instead of the segment we just had. 40-9. 40-9. That is Cleveland Cavaliers' current record right now. Did you think they were going to start 40-9?
No. I didn't think they'd be in first best in the East either, or best in all basketball. I figured they'd be in the top 5, maybe.
49.
49.
Yeah, going by the comp right now, yeah, they're 5.5 above the Celtics, which is second.
And they play Celtics
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday night.
Thunder are 38 and 9. So yeah, Cavs have played one more game than them and have won one more there. Yeah, I mean it was another perfect week for the Cavs. I said if they went 2-2, I would take that. 3-1 for sure. 4-0, I just said I'm not sure if I'll see it. It's wrong again. Oh my gosh, no, they were perfect. Started out last Monday. They beat the Detroit Pistons 110-91. Really played well that game there, beating former coach J.B. Bickerstaff. Wednesday, they go into Miami, who is still having drama between them and Jimmy Butler. They beat Miami by 20, 126-106. Mind you, they do not play well in Miami. I cannot stress that enough. Like, for years and years, over 10 years, they have not played well in Miami. They played very well this past Wednesday. Thursday, they beat the Hawks 137-115 in Cleveland. About a little bit of revenge there for what the Hawks have done to Cleveland. Their first time that
No, the Hawks,
they beat them this
first
year.
Two.
Yeah,
two they played this year.
They did. And then Sunday, they played the Dallas Mavericks. They won 144-101, scored 91 the first half.
They scored 50 points in the first quarter.
Right.
50 points
91
in the
first half. You're probably thinking, how did they beat up the Dallas Mavericks like that? Well, one was injuries. Two, at 1 a.m. the night before, was a historic trade was made between the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers, which sent Luka Doncic and another player to the Lakers. I should actually pull that up.
That helped LeBron out.
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat.
Let me see. So I could get you all the details here. I was not prepared for
that. Well, there
was
like a 3-way trade though, because somebody else was involved in that.
No, it was.
You sure?
6.
I thought I'd seen there was another team was involved.
No, you're thinking of another trade.
Oh.
No, I'm trying to pull it up right now. Yeah, but long story short, Luka Doncic was surprisingly traded to the Los Angeles Clippers in the middle of the night. He was supposed to be dressed for Cleveland, but that did not happen. So I mean, but that helped the Cavs immensely because now he was out of the way there. I know Anthony Davis was part of the trade with the Mavericks. Mavericks also got a 2019 first round pick, which will be 29. 29. Sorry, one source I did think put 19, which threw me off because I said, "Oh well, that was a while ago." So that's going to be a high pick when they finally use it. There you go. I think you're right. There was a third team then.
There was a third team involved in that. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
The Jazz got was involved there. Lakers received Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris, who played for the Cavs last year.
Right.
And then Dallas acquired Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the Lakers 2019 pick. Jazz received Jalen Hood-Schifino, which I thought went originally to the Mavericks, for Clippers 25 second round pick and the Mavericks 20. No, wait. They got their second round pick. They got the Clippers second round pick and the Mavericks second round pick. And so those are the details of the trade. About if a team got better or not is up for debate. The reason they traded Luka, because I think there's a lot of people asking, he took them to the finals last year. Okay,
right.
That's why this is so shocking. Mavericks were not 100% sure how well Luka was conditioning himself. He just got his second serious injury of the season. He's coming back soon, but he's missed a lot of games this year alone because of injuries. They thought he was putting on a good amount of weight. He just wasn't conditioned right. They didn't want to give him the max deal, and I think he wasn't going to come through. And
excuse me, pardon me.
I mean, because he was on contract year this year. And so on top of that, they went out and they got a bunch of guys for defensive read. Anthony Davis. I think Davis' numbers are going to shoot up. So if you got him on fantasy, you're about to get a real treat because I think you're going to see Anthony Davis just tear up the stat line with Kyrie there. But they want to go defensive, because they got a lot of good bigs, including this trade with Anthony Davis. Mavericks do. So they're pulling what basically the Cavs helped start. You've seen the Sixers with Embiid and the Nuggets with Jokic, where the big guy is back. People were writing off the big guy saying, "Oh, it's not what it used to be." No, I always said the big guy was relevant, and now people are starting to see it, and now they're trying to build teams similar to that style again, which is awesome because it is relevant. It works, and I will tell you, as far as what does this mean for the Mavericks' future, I do think, because LeBron's having issues with LA, he's going to finish off the season there. I think him and Luka can gel well, but I don't think it's long term. I can see him opting out. I know the Cavs' name is going to continue to pop because he's about to retire soon. But I think the Mavericks have entered the conversation as well. Because if you think about it, if he wants to win another championship and he's not going to come back to Cleveland, and you look at his options, if he takes a decent deal with Dallas, he's reunited with Kyrie and Anthony Davis, and he's got a lot of bigs to work with. Because that's the problem in LA is Anthony Davis, I guess, was causing him and the LA management were kind of at each other, because Anthony Davis requested, he said, if you're going to do a trade, get another big man in here because we need it, and they do. And actually, they need it even more because they traded away a big man and then get a big man back. So it's been a mess, to say the least. But
yeah, let's have to wait and see.
Right. So that's details about that trade there. There was a second big trade last night regarding the Spurs, the Kings, and the Bulls last night. So this was a big trade there. Spurs got Jordan McLaughlin and De'Aaron Fox from the Kings. So that's going to be because De'Aaron Fox is a great point guard and he's going to fit great in the Spurs system. The Kings got Zach LaVine from the Bulls along with Sissoko, 3 first-round picks, including the Hornets 25, the Spurs 27, and the Timberwolves 31. And Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own first-round pick back from the Spurs. The Spurs had the Bulls' first-round pick, and now the Bulls get it back. But that's a big trick because you get a playmaker like Zach LaVine, who's having a solid season, by the way, probably an underrated season. And he's going to the Kings. I don't know what direction the Kings are going. The Kings are kind of confused me. The Kings do get 3 first-round picks in the deal, but De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs is going to be huge for the Spurs. It's a young star-studded point guard along with Wemby, so it's gonna fit, is what I'm trying to say. I think this was a good trade for the Spurs. Kings, I'm not sure about. Bulls, I'm not even sure about like what they got back, and then of course they're getting their first back, which was big for them because they might need it. It might be a lottery pick. But the Spurs got a good piece, a very good piece. And I think they're going to walk out of this trade better than any of the other 3 teams, in my opinion. But so what I'm trying to say, Bob, is the trade deadline is definitely heating up. We've seen.
Do you see the Cavs making any moves?
If I had to put a bet on it, and I don't bet, I would say no.
I don't see the.
No.
They got a good chemistry. They're playing well.
They're playing better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean I can't see him making any moves.
No.
I mean,
I do think he's playing with ideas. He's talking because that's his job. His job is to look, because you never know what's going to pop up and go, yeah, we'll definitely do that. Try to work something out. But I don't.
mean, if they would make Trey, who do you think they would?
It would be for a piece, whether it would be a wing or another big, because that's been brought up off the bench, mind you.
Well, it's going to be off the bench. I mean,
right. I have heard Tristan Thompson and Craig Porter's name being brought up for a cheaper contract. In that case, Thompson would be bought out and probably returned to the team. but that would be the only thing they would do because the rest they really could use right now and they really need. Yeah, it's.
I just can't see him making any moves. I mean that their bench is strong. Their starters are strong. You know,
Just keep staying healthy, yeah.
as long as they stay healthy, there ain't nobody gonna beat this team.
Last year
I'm
they
sorry.
didn't make moves, but I did hear a rumor. I don't like this rumor. They're going to wait till the buyout market. That part I don't mind. It was the names that I mind. They were talking about Ben Simmons of the Nets, who has been washed up for the past couple of years with injuries and whatnot. And they did talk about Lonzo Ball from the Bulls.
Keep those two.
Right. Now there are some quality buyout opportunities. Last year they got Markieff Morris. That was big for them in the playoffs.
Well, if they bring,
Yes,
say they bring one of those two guys in at a buyout or whatever, who would they get rid of?
What they would probably do.
I mean, I don't even want them to touch this team.
There's got to be something with it. They're two-way players. They can do something with. It's just talk right now.
Yeah. I hope that's all it is talk.
The one thing you can trust, given the past 5, I would say 6 years he's been with the team, Kobe Altman will not make a move that doesn't make sense or make a move just to make a move. You notice how patient and accurate his moves are. I'm not even just talking trade deadline. You look at, all right, Larry Nance. We were talking about Myles Garrett wanting out. Larry Nance wanted out. We all didn't know. He flipped him and turned him into Lauri Markkanen. I mean, because he waited a few months, but he found the right trade that made sense, and he made the move.
Yeah, good. It was a good move.
Then the next year, he flips Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton in a package for Donovan Mitchell. You know, you saw how the Jared Allen, that was one of the best trades in Cleveland history. The Jared Allen traded, how that happened and how patient he was and how needy the Nets were to have a team like Cleveland with all that cap space to be involved with the James Harden trade. He's very precise is what I'm trying to say. He's not going to make a move, and I'm sure he's kept Dan Gilbert and look and say, look, I mean, we're playing so well. Why would last year he didn't make a move again, except to get Markieff Morris from a buyout, but he didn't make a trade. He said, I felt like we were in a good spot, and that was that team. So yeah, I wouldn't stress or worry about it. I wouldn't right now.
I'm not where I just hope we don't make any moves.
Looking ahead at this week, Bob, we got 3 games for the Cavaliers this week. Tuesday night, and yours truly will be there, 7:30 p.m. at home. They will play the Boston Celtics. 1-1 versus Boston this year. They did beat Boston at home, was the 1 win. So the TNT and Max, the streaming service, will have that game for you at home. But yeah, that's going to be a battle. And if the Cavs could win that one, that could be big down the road, for sure. Wednesday, they play at the Detroit Pistons. And Friday, they play at the Washington Wizards. Okay, Pistons are an improved team, but Cleveland's got the number. Okay, after the Cleveland beat Pistons this past week, they also beat the Mavericks this past week. Their top 3 win streaks per team, tied for first, is the Wizards and the Pistons at 11 straight victories. The other one, the Mavericks at 7, which means they have swept the Mavericks, including this year, 3 years in a row. That's impressive. Remind you, the Mavericks went to the finals last year. And I get it, they just traded Luka, but that's a whole other thing. So this week I'm saying they shouldn't do worse than 2-1. If they lose to Boston, I mean, I get it. I would hate to see
Boston's
it.
Probably one of the better teams in the league.
Right. Cleveland's got 5.5 above them right now, and right now are odd paper as the best. But they should beat Detroit and Washington without a problem. And I get like Detroit could be a minor trap game because they play. It's literally they play Celtics on Tuesday, which by the time you hear this, you'll know the result. And then they play the Pistons on Wednesday, so back-to-back there. That could lead them to be a little bit tired for the Detroit game there. But they could even sit Donovan Mitchell against Detroit and still find a way to win if they want to go that route. Bottom line, they're 40-9. Just
That's
All-Star break hasn't happened yet. They're 40-9.
If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season if they'd be 40-9, I'd say no.
I would have said no too. I would have
No
said
way.
you're telling me they're going to go into the first week of February without double-digit losses? Everybody's going to double-digit loss, but no, not Cleveland, not OKC. They only have 9. You know.
They're playing great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Come on, Cavs. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. Speaking of playing great, the Akron Zips keep on trucking.
9-0 in the MAC.
9-0 in the
16-5 overall.
9-game winning streak too, mind you.
Yeah.
They won the big games this past week. They beat Northern Illinois at Northern. Actually, both their wins were away. That's even better. They beat Northern Illinois 80-70 last Tuesday, and then on Friday night, Bob, you were there. They beat Kent 85-71. They took a lead and never turned back, from my understanding.
Yeah, they never let.
Kent State never led. Yeah,
Never led at all. Not once during the game. Akron jumped off to, I think it was 9-0 before Kent got their first basket. The Zips had it was 11 for 27 at the 3 point, at the arch.
Yeah.
3 points. It was the 14th time this year that the Zips had at least 10 3-pointers or more.
They had 7 guys with double-digit scoring too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all around impressive. Moving ahead to this week.
Anyway, Tavari Johnson, the junior guard from Illinois that plays for Akron.
Yeah.
He was named MAC Player of the Week.
Excellent. A good player there.
Tavari Johnson. So
There you go.
he had 17 points against Kent State.
Yeah, he played very good. Nick Johnson did too.
Nate Johnson led all scoring with 20.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's right.
With 20.
Yeah, I mean, and that Nate Johnson is one of the better wings I've ever seen in a Zips uniform. Real quick, because we're running out of time here. This week, the Zips will play Ball State on Tuesday. You'll know the result by the time you hear this. It was on ESPN Plus. That's at home, so I think they can pull out a win there. Saturday is going to be their last non-conference unless they make the big tournament, which I hope they can. And they're playing at home against South Alabama.
South Alabama.
On ESPN Plus, and that's
the,
2 p.m. game.
The Sun Belt MAC Challenge.
Right.
Everybody's in the MAC's playing a Sun Belt team. So
Right, and then they'll resume MACtion after that game for the rest of the regular season.
So we're halfway through the MAC season now. They play 18 MAC games, and they're 9-0. So.
9-0. When we come back,
Oh, and they're also rated 15th in the mid colleges basketball poll.
right's correct. Yes, they're killing it right now. We're looking forward to what they do the rest of the season, and it's going to get interesting. When February is just leading into the March Madness.
It's coming.
It's coming, and it's going to be so much fun. When we come back, we got to take a break. Me and Bob predict who's going to win the Super Bowl. But whatever you do, don't handshake Pat Mahomes, or a flag might come at you. Stay tuned. And welcome back to our last segment, 10 Cent Beer Night, on our first episode in February here of 2025. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
And I wanted to quickly, before we get talk about the Super Bowl and all that, I did want to finish college basketball. We didn't get to Ohio State, who went to 2-1 last week against the Big Ten there. Last Monday, they beat Iowa in Columbus 82-65. Then turned around, went to Penn State, and then won 83-64, so a very similar score there. And last night, on Sunday night, they did fall to Illinois, number 18 in the nation, 79-87. So not a bad loss there.
8 points, man.
And that's been the story with Ohio State this year. Is when they've lost, it's been close. So I mean, it's been it is what it is what I'm trying to say. But they're hanging in there against the Big Ten, and they did win a couple of good games last week, so it's good. They're 13-9 is their overall record. They are 5-6 in the Big Ten, so not terrible by any means. And they still got a good amount of basketball left on the schedule. As you mentioned, Bob, they still got half the conference. Everybody does.
Yeah, halfway point for all the schools, for pretty much all the conferences.
Right. Only 2 games this week for Ohio State. They will be playing in Columbus on Thursday against Maryland. That's on 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. And then Sunday, don't forget, like we're going to see a lot more college basketball Sunday games coming up, especially with football wrapping up. They will be at Nebraska, and the Big Ten Network will have that at 2 p.m. right before the Super Bowl there. So Maryland and Nebraska this week, which came into the Big Ten together, so that's fun, because coming up we're going to play some of the newer Big Ten teams as well. So good for Ohio State there. In football, Ohio State has officially lost both their coordinators. Jim Knowles, we mentioned last week, he's leaving for Penn State, and I guess the relationship really got sour. He's going to reveal more information soon, but I guess him and Ohio State have been on the outs, which resulted in him leaving for Penn State. That and the money. Penn State made him the highest paid defense coordinator in college football history. And then as of last night, for those that don't know, but the Las Vegas Raiders hired Pete Carroll as their new head coach this past week. He has hired Chip Kelly to be his new offensive coordinator. So Ohio State they lost both their coordinators, and I guess their top assistant left too. I did not see where he went, but they're going to be looking to hire in some 2 new coordinators and a new assistant. So it's...
Well, it happened before, so...
Right, it was bound to...
You win a national title, all of a sudden your resumes look good. A lot of money in the NFL to give these guys. Of course, they make a lot of money in the college.
I think technically Chip Kelly was the... let's see. Was the assistant coach they technically lost there. There's a couple more assistant coaches that are leaving for bigger positions in college football. So Ohio State is getting picked apart now that they've won the championship.
You win a championship, I'm telling you, the schools start calling you.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, we got an offer. We'll give you this, and of course, Chip Kelly thing. You're talking about the guy that went to Penn State. Who went to Penn State? No. Who's the coordinator that went to Notre Dame? Notre Dame to Penn State. Who's the?
Jim Knowles.
No, he probably see what Penn State offered him. Then he went to Ohio State and said, "I'll stay if you could match it." And that's probably where the problem went.
Probably.
Money. I'm telling you, money talks, BS walks.
Well, yeah, he's gone regardless, and whatever happened. On top, I did want to mention a congrats to Nema. He was known as Nemo in the building. Washington. If you don't know him, he was an assistant coach for the Browns. He's leaving, and he was like one of those. He wasn't a top assistant coach. He was just involved with helping with the run game and tight ends and whatnot. And he is leaving the team. He's going to be the offensive coordinator for Delaware State. That's where Deshaun Jackson now coaches.
Okay.
So, he's going to get a good opportunity. So, congrats to him. Mm-hmm. That happened this past week there. So, what Ohio State will do, who knows? But
any news on the Zips front? Any
for football?
Yeah.
The only thing I saw is they did get a transfer defensive end from Arizona recently.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's Arizona University, the same university Bryce James just committed to in basketball. So, it's another big school kid is coming to Akron. There's going to be more as far as the transfer portal and signings coming up. We should know more about that soon, because Ohio State's sending out some guys too from the transfer portal and signing some guys, and they're expected to have another good class there. We'll keep you in the loop, but the top cornerback in 2026, I don't even have his name in front of me right now, but he's plays for Hoban. He's an Akron kid. He's top in the nation, and Ohio State just started talking to him. So we'll keep you, because that's an Akron kid that sounds like he's going to be a potential NFL prospect. So we'll let you know where he decides to go. But yeah, for the 2026 class, he's the top cornerback in the nation. So that's kind of cool, right?
What if he has any offers besides Ohio State?
Alabama, Oregon, and I think Texas may have talked to him. I mean, he's the top guy, in the nation. So everybody's reaching out for him right now.
Yeah, let's hey, think about Ohio. I mean, Akron U. Okay, you could probably start every game.
Yeah, there you go.
And your parents could see you for nothing.
Right.
Won't cost them nothing to drive.
So there you go. So we'll have to talk about it now, but this week it is the Super Bowl, Bob. It is which this is good news for us because even if you don't care about it, that means baseball's around the corner.
Baseball is around the corner. Of course,
about a week.
Our
right?
university. Well, first of all, pitchers and catchers report Friday the 14th.
Or Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, so
we'll be in love.
Yeah. Well,
with baseball.
I don't know if the wives are going to like their husbands.
Well, we're not married, so that don't matter.
The players.
Bob is though, so he will get to watch spring trade baseball.
Well, anyway, spring trade opens up for the Guardians and the Indians. Other teams are different days, but the Guardian and Indians are both on the 14th, Friday the 14th of February. And our University of Akron's baseball team opens their season on the 14th.
There you go.
In Radford, Virginia. They'll be on the road the first 12 games, playing in Virginia and North Carolina before they come home on March 5th for the first home game.
It's still going to be cold.
Yeah, I know. But that's, we're Northeastern Ohio. You got to expect that. But baseball is coming.
Baseball is coming.
And I'm going to post on my Facebook page, now the real sport begins. The day after football.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of that real quick, a couple moves were made. As this morning, Carlos Carrasco, former Cleveland Indian and Guardian, he signed a minor league deal with the New York Yankees today. So he's going to be in spring training down there with the Yankees.
I heard that talk with a lot of people said they really loved him in the clubhouse.
Right.
The players loved him in the clubhouse. I mean,
we've loved him for years. Yeah. The year he had leukemia.
And I wish him best of luck. I mean, he's getting close to the end. I mean,
right. It is. I mean, it's hard to believe, but that whole rotation that we saw in the 2010s there, Tomlin's hung it up, Kluber's hung it up, Bauer's still part of it. He's still going strong, but Cookie's going to be next. And I won't forget 2019. When he had leukemia and how not just the Indian, because it was the Indians at the time, Indians fan base gathered around for him, but the Major League Baseball fan base just gathered around for him, and how special that was.
I tell everybody, of all the sports, baseball players' families are the closest. We're a brotherhood.
Right.
Baseball is a brother. I mean, I haven't done much scouting lately, but I keep in touch with the 18 other guys. We're all going to get together this year down in Cincinnati for a family reunion because we're all brothers.
Right.
And but I talk to every one of them at least once a month.
That's awesome.
Because we're a brotherhood. I miss these guys. I really do. And baseball is like that. You're a lot of family. Baseball is a family thing. I love the game.
It's the best game. It really is. Looking forward to it being played again. I did see Jack Flaherty, one of the better pitchers in the free agency, did re-sign with the Tigers. 2-year deal there. He did not go back to LA, which I did not anticipate he would with all their moves they've made.
He's another one. I think he wants to come back to Detroit to retire in Detroit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not gonna be. He's 28, so he's not gonna be.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But he did love Detroit. He could retire. I mean, there was interest.
I was thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, but Yeah, another top free agent's off the market. I won't say he was top 10, but he's a quality starting pitcher, and I think Cleveland should have taken a shot at him, me personally.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, I think it would have made a lot of sense.
I would love to see it.
I'm confused with them sitting the way they have, being okay with what they have going into spring training, but again,
I mean, we got some kids in the minors that
right.
Some good prospects. Hopefully, I mean, we really haven't made any moves.
No, but I think they could have made a few to make their lives a little easier and to make Stephen Vought's life a little bit easier. But we will talk more about that in the coming weeks, Bob. I mean, I'll be glad to have baseball.
Yeah, we're gonna have a baseball show, just baseball.
We got to get it out of the way. Super Bowl. Eagles, Chiefs.
I was trying to avoid it.
We got to talk about it. We don't have to talk about it long. Pick up your microphone because I am going to be asking you, Bob. Okay, we're in San Francisco, right? I believe.
I think it's San Francisco.
Yeah. I want to make sure.
My little foamy thing fell off my mic.
Let's see. Yeah, we're in. No, that might be next year then.
And we're in Florida. We're in Miami. We in Texas?
Let me see.
I don't even know. You know what? I'm at the point that I don't care.
New Orleans. We're at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Yeah, next year's the Niners home. Okay.
Oh, we get a dome in Brook Park. Maybe it'll be in Brook Park.
The year after we'll be back in L.A., and then the year after that we'll be in Atlanta. So we're in New Orleans, Kansas City, and Philly, and Kansas City's favored by 1.5. Bob, what do you think?
I'm going with Philadelphia. I'm taking Philadelphia. I don't want the Chiefs to win. I do not want them to win. I want to look at that press box and see her up there crying.
How much do you think they're going to win by?
I hope a lot. I hope the first thing they do. It's like that movie, about the prison. The prison guards played the football players.
Oh, Longest Yard.
Longest Yard. I'm hoping that what's his name, the quarterback, just hit that referee right where he belongs.
Yeah.
Cause I'll tell you what, I'm just tired I've watched some games this year, and I'm sorry, it just does seem like the referees are for them.
Right.
It really does.
6:30 p.m.
I can't even
Fox.
say that. I can't even say that team. I can't even say. I'm gonna call them the Swifties.
The Swifties. 6:30 p.m. on Fox. Good news. Joe Buck is not announcing the game. He's with.
That's great news.
That's great news. I'm cheering for Philly, but
Well, you know what?
I'm cheering for Philly, but I got Kansas City winning by a last-second field goal. I don't think overtime. I'm going to tell you this: Kansas City is a very good team. Okay, they're not the offensive explosion team they've been in the past, but they're still a very smart offensive team. They're an underrated defensive team this year. I don't think their defense has gotten enough credit. Philly, on paper, is the better team, though. You have better offensive weapons there with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
But do they have referees?
That's where the problem's going to happen. And I think defensively, too, by the way, Philly is better. Despite how high I think of Kansas City's defense, I think Philly's got the better overall defense. It does come down to the refs. We were talking about Myles Garrett today. I know it hurts, but I was fuming when they were playing against the Chiefs, and that Chiefs guard poked him in the eye intentionally, and they didn't call anything. They said, he was just trying to do swing his arm for blocking purposes. No, he reached at his face like that, and he gets away. And I said basically what you were saying about the Longest Yard thing. I said, can one of our backup linebackers come in the game
and just hammer him?
Just hit a ref, because it was the refs.
I didn't know you was there. I'm sorry.
There was a sketchy thing that happened. We'll hear NFL conspiracies for years. But in the Buffalo-Kansas City game, Buffalo throws a long pass, Josh Allen does, and Dante Kincaid almost caught it. He misses it. It's going to be a tough catch regardless, so it wasn't his fault. In the case he caught it, there was a flag thrown. The broadcast booth addressed that there was a flag thrown, picked up, not one word was said. They threw it in case he caught it.
I believe
You
it.
tell me that's not sketchy.
I
Watch
believe
that. Watch the replay of that again. It will mention flag on the play. They pick it up. They don't say what. Usually they'll pick it up and say there was no foul in the play for, and they have an explanation or something. There was no explanation.
Well, the ref was probably going for his handkerchief and accidentally pulled the flag out.
I'm sure we've heard the excuses, but
I'm just sure there's excuses. But I'm just saying, Kansas City's games, there's been so many. I don't know how you want to say it.
it's too obvious.
It's too obvious. Yeah.
We've never seen it this bad. Even they kept saying about how Tom Brady got away with this. No, Brady at least played. He lost Super Bowls too, mind you. And the biasness, maybe there was some with him and Aaron Rodgers back in their heyday, but it was not this bad. It was not blatantly obvious, Something's going on there. Philly, I'm cheering for you at the end. I got Kansas City win this game just because of what we've seen, but I want Philly to win this. I think they are a good team. I think they got the Mount Union coach, which, by the way, the Browns signed a Mount Union guy to their practice squad recently, too, a wide receiver. But they got that Mount Union coach there. They got some great. They've been playing great football all year. Philly has, and some of their ownership doubted the direction very early in the season, and I
really believe Buffalo got robbed. That's my opinion.
It's tough to say, but at the end of the day, I got Kansas City away, but I'm cheering for Philly.
I'm cheering for Philly, and I'm hoping for Philly to win, and you beat those Swifties. That's all I ask.
Right. It's just getting too obvious, and it's irritating watching. It's not fair. It's not.
You can't beat 11 guys plus 5 or 6.
So yeah, best of luck, Eagles. I mean, I don't hate the Chiefs or their fans.
Well, I don't either. I think they're great. It's a great team. I just think that the referees they're too much into this with them.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Is Taylor paying them?
Something's going on.
I watched a video the other day when Taylor was saying, "Now listen here, Goodell. I own you, and I own the NFL." A little video, a joke thing.
Yeah.
But I'm beginning to wonder.
Well, they are looking at potential even coach tampering.
I mean, let's face it. She makes probably more money than the franchise worth. I don't know.
Yeah, she makes a lot of money.
She's probably a billionaire.
She is a billionaire. Both her and Selena Gomez are new billionaires. So
yeah,
I mean, it's happened there.
Taylor, buy the team. Take the team.
No. Buy the Browns. Buy the Browns. Don't buy the Chiefs. Buy the Browns. There's more money there. We'll still show up when they suck. So you can hire Travis, your boyfriend, to run the front office. I don't care. But buy the Browns. If the refs could change their tune to the Cleveland, then I can be flexible.
You think Travis will retire if they win the Super Bowl?
I think he's going to retire regardless. Yeah, I think it's gotten to that point with him. Yeah, for sure. Hey, we got to wrap it up. We got to go. Thank you, producer Bob, for all you do. Thank you, Bob, for dealing with our football sorrows, but baseball's on the horizon.
It's on the horizon.
Without further ado, looking forward. When we come back next week, we'll talk more baseball. We'll talk basketball, college hoops, NBA All-Star games coming up. Garland, Mitchell, and Mobley made the All-Star team. That's the fourth time in Cavs history they had 3 All-Stars. So
I think they're the only team that had 3.
No, they've.
This year.
This year, yes.
Yeah, this year, yes.
This year, yes, you're right. Not all time.
No. The only time this year was the only team to have 3 players on.
Rightfully so. So we'll talk about the Cavs. We'll talk about the Buckeyes. We'll talk about the Zips and so much more. But baseball's on the horizon. So without further ado, everybody, go Cavs, Zips, and Buckeyes. They're all doing good. We'll give them the recognition, and then just
go Philly. Go Philly.
The Eagles fly. We want to see those Eagles fly. All right. Have a good one.